It is now time for me to conclude this video. I hope my philology, that is, in the etymological sense of love of words, has not proved too wordy or boring. If our virtual meeting has at least raised your curiosity about this centuries-old discipline, I can claim that this past hour has been useful. I hope that from this introduction you may gradually move on to practice. Philology is a technique rather than a science, with all the pros and cons. Among the former, as I said from the outset, is the fact that philology is much more fun and instructive to practice than to hear about. As we all know, this is true of a number of activities that I cannot list now. There is one last thing, however, that I must say in praise of philology, and this brings me back to one of the two books I mentioned at the very beginning of this meeting. The last word that Charlotte the spider weaves on her web in praise of Wilbert is humble. Likewise, if practiced over a rather long period of time, it is most likely that philology will teach you humility, which, as the Middle Ages taught us, is the mother of all virtues. This will go together with plenty of patience and a useful dose of caution. Most philologists start out with daring theories and conjectures. Soon enough, however, practice teaches them to patiently listen to their witnesses, that is, the manuscripts, before expressing any judgment. In the same vein, I cannot but conclude this video without thanking several friends and colleagues who have taught me and shared with me so much. I wish to begin with my mentor, Giuliano Tanturli, from the University of Florence. Thanks to him, I was introduced to philology and, although I've never told him this, the subsidiary, inevitably related art of coffee drinking. Coffee, especially a good espresso, will help you greatly to keep the attention level high, at least for several hours before the next shot, as you compare manuscripts of any given work. I also owe a great debt of gratitude to Giuseppe Mazzotta, Yale University, and James Hankins, Harvard University, for almost 2 decades of scholarly suggestions and academic support on various projects. I'm also greatly indebted to my dear friend Paul Levine for introducing me to a host of American literary masterpieces ever since the late 1980s. Finally, my heartfelt thanks go to Mr. Daniel Tartaglia, president of both ISI Florence and Umbra Institute, for supporting the philological researches I have been carrying in the last years, despite my role as, first, professor of Italian literature at the International Studies Institute and, more recently, director of the same study abroad program at Palazzo Rucellai in Florence. And, of course, thank you all for your attention.